How you doing, guys? I'm Sean.
Hi everybody, hope everyone's having a tremendous day today.
Absolutely brilliant day. Guys, listen, today's video we're going to talk about UFOs. Do they like that, don't do they exist? Well, we know they exist. But do you believe they exist or not? And just sharing our views on why we do feel that they are here, they are amongst us.
They are amongst us, that's right.
Now this here video was inspired by a friend of ours, Hibiscus Moon, Stephanie. Those of you around the crystals will certainly know Stephanie's channel. If not, we'll put a wee link down below and get a race over there and check. She's a good spirit. She's into the crystals, metaphysical workshops and things like that. So she's done a great video probably about a month ago now, was it?
It probably been about a month ago, yeah, one of the question and answers one.
Maybe a month and a half, maybe?
Somebody asked her about her experience with UFOs and she's seen quite a few. And it was really, really interesting. And we thought, inspired us to actually talk about
your experience.
About my experience with a UFO, yes. And also a little bit what we think about UFOs as well. I think you'll enjoy it.
So here you go, guys. This is, we genuinely believe that UFOs exist, there's no question, but you've had an experience before.
I have. Well, first of all, I'll tell you about my experience. I've only seen a UFO once, but it was the most amazing experience of my life. It was back in 1993 when I was 22 years old.
Back in the 90s.
Back in the 90s, yeah. I was 22 at the time, and it was sort of getting dark of an evening. But it was light enough for me to see out in the sky, and I happened to look out my bedroom window. I often used to stare out the window and go into a little daze. And I looked and thought, what the hell is that? Where we used to live, there were some fields opposite. There was no building or anything, just beautiful fields. And I saw this huge black triangle in the field opposite. I said, what the hell? And it had 3 flashing lights going all the way around it. I can't remember what colour the lights were. It could have been say like blue or red, but they were flashing like that, going round at the tips of each corner of the triangle. I think they're like blue and red flashing lights, and it was going round, going round like that. And I looked and I thought, I just knew straight away because it was so huge and it was stationary. It was exactly still. It wasn't moving. That I knew something of that size would just fall. It wouldn't be able to stay in the sky. It wasn't moving.
Imagine.
What the hell? And I didn't think, oh my God, that's a UFO, because it might, what I always thought about UFO is if somebody said UFO to me, I just think of it as being circular, a flying saucer, in other words, a disc with a little dome on the top. So I didn't look at it and think, oh my God, that's... Yeah, I didn't look at it and think that's a UFO. I just thought, what the hell is it? But I just knew that it was not from this planet because it was just the most amazing thing I've ever seen. It looked like something out of a space age film. My brother was in the next room, so I said, Mike, come and have a look at this. He said, what? I said, come and have a look. I said, there's something in the sky and I don't know what it is. It's just like bizarre. So he came running in and he looked at it as well. He went, bloody hell. I said, I don't know what the hell that is. And we stared, and it was there for about 2 minutes. It was just stayed completely still. And then it slowly turned its way around like this. Still with the lights flashing around, and then it just went sped off, absolutely so fast, and just disappeared. And me and my brother just looked at each other and went, "Oh my God!" He said, "I think that's a UFO." It wasn't a flying saucer because it wasn't round, but it was certainly an unidentified flying object. Anyway, the next day I got up and I went to work and I told everyone at work. I said, "You won't believe what I saw in the sky last night." I said, "It must have been a UFO." And they all said, I don't believe that. It must have been a satellite. I said, it definitely wasn't an air balloon. Anyway, I said, if it was a satellite, then how come it didn't, how come it was so low, for starters, and it was so huge? And how could something like that just stay in the sky? I said, believe me, this was not from this world. It was just something very unearthly about it. Anyway, later on that afternoon, I went to my lunch, I came back, and one of the ladies I worked with, she worked in the pharmacy part, she came over and she said, you won't believe this, there's something on the radio, on the BRMB, which is the Birmingham radio, which is where I used to live. She said, there's something about that UFO you saw last night. I said, really? I never heard it on the radio. It mentioned it on the news that it had been spotted around the West Midlands area, the West Midlands, which is by Birmingham area, I used to live. And there'd been a number of people that had seen it. And I thought, thank God I'm not going mad, So that, of course, that put my mind at ease. And then over the coming years, I've seen other things, especially now we've got the internet. I didn't have the internet at the time, but now I have the internet and I research about UFOs. That this is almost identical to what I've seen. There's other people that have seen a lot similar all around the world, not just England, all over. And in fact, it was a number of years later when I was actually like doing Reiki at the time, and I met a lovely lady called Anne. She was a lovely lady. She also did Reiki, and she was talking about UFOs, and I said, I saw one. And she said, so did I. And this lady only lived up the street from me, and I said it was back in 93, and she went, mine was in 1993 as well. And she said, but it wasn't round. I said, no, mine wasn't round. Mine was a huge triangle. She said, and mine. And it was actually exactly the same year, the same night. We both saw the same flight, UFO anyway. She said she stood on a doorstep and she saw it, and it just went over like this. Again, the same thing, big triangle. So she's the only other person I know that's seen one exactly the same as me. But obviously now researching online, there's other people that have all seen it very similar to this huge big triangle. I've never seen anything like it since. I've never seen any UFO, any experiences since this. But anyway, that's my experience of a UFO, or a flying triangle, if you want to say. But it was bizarre, and it was a remarkable experience.
I think that's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I haven't seen one. I don't think I've seen one. But I think that's absolutely fantastic and true, 100%. And there was actually a police officer in England that's documented of also seeing a triangle at the same time in a different county.
Different counties all over England that time.
And slightly later at night, but. Guys, this is where we're coming from this here. We're completely out of the box, you see, and we just don't believe that, it's okay for, the governments and things like that to discredit people. And there's people there who are paid to discredit. Exactly. And there's also people that are paid to come on television whenever there's things like that. And it's not that the village idiot, they don't like that term, but I'm just trying to say that, these people here are paid to come on who are clearly... they're not there to say that they've seen UFOs. They're there to make them look ridiculous. And there are a lot of people who have, stories just like Lynn's, and we're completely open to this. Lynn has seen it, I haven't seen it. And the more I've been studying it, I've actually said to myself that they're there. There's no question, because we'd be very conceited if we honestly believe that us humans in this whole planetary system, that this rock
it'd be really naive to think that, wouldn't it?
In the whole planetary system that can hold life, and more importantly, that we are the only advanced ones in that life. We're not advanced at all.
Not at all. My gosh, I think we know nothing. And like not only this universe, but I believe there's all these galaxies, all these many other universes out there that we don't know about. And also, it's quite possible, I'm not saying that the UFOs and these aliens are coming from outer space, which I do believe 100%, but it's also possible, remember, even on this planet Earth, there's many, many different, I believe, realities all happening all at exactly the same time. So it's very possible there could be aliens, an alien life form, alien to us, living amongst us in the same space we are in at this moment, but because it's all vibrating at a completely different frequency to our reality, or how we perceive it, that we could be living all amongst us. In other words, you really don't know, because we can only perceive the reality we can perceive as a human being,
100%.
In a human body anyway.
And we're conditioned to think certain ways from birth till death, you know what I mean? And no disrespect to our families and things like that, but when we're born, we're automatically given, the education of our parents, of our family, and then we're handed over to the school teachers, and they're handing you a set of curriculum to turn around and say, this is what you're just going to have to study for the next 4 years, and then if you don't get them questions right, then you're going to be put back. So we're actually conditioned into believing what we're told to believe. And as people say, as a government, the governments wouldn't have that. The governments wouldn't lie to us.
They do.
The governments lie to us.
They
it's
do.
as simple as that. Every single government lies, and they know exactly what's going on, and they would be behind suppressing information on many things, on health, and certainly until UFOs. So I would tell you that start thinking a wee bit outside the box, and that when you start putting yourself out there, you're surprised. Just as Lynn said, you met that girl. And Anne, was it you said?
Anne, yeah.
So when Lynn met Anne, both them two shared their experiences together. And Stephanie, Hibiscus Moon, shared several of her experiences,
Amazing,
you know, and reading the comments from people coming out and actually saying, you know, what happened to me, it happened to me. And that's where we are in this lifetime now. Everybody's coming out. People that aren't afraid to share their views and share their experiences because it's happening. Are they amongst us? I honestly believe they are, and I certainly believe several. It's not just like...
Definitely, yeah.
It's not like when you think about it, you can expect there's only like one other planet out there.
It's madness.
You know, there's all different... That's why you would say that there's different spaceships and different shapes and different sizes and, you know, different encounters, some coming from the underwater, some coming from the skies. And I would say to you that there's not just one planet out there. There's probably millions of planets out there that are inhabited by other life sources that are far more advanced to us. And when you realise this wee short period, this life's existence in this planet Earth is nothing in the bigger picture of things.
It's not even like
really,
tiny
it's
little...
nothing. It's like a grain of sand, you know what I mean, on a beach. So just to expect that there's other planets out there and, you know, would they visit us, you might find it quite boring. And sometimes you'd actually just see something flying past. And if you work out with the way we actually view things, it's not like I'm looking at the camera now and you're looking at the screen. We're not looking at what's really there. Do you know what I mean? The information's going in through your eye. It's getting converted around. It's getting put back into the brain, and then the brain's going to convert it into pictures.
Yeah, it's how your brain perceives
really, you know?
it.
So if I happen to look up and I happen to see an aeroplane flying overhead, well, my brain has deciphered that to be an aeroplane and nothing else, a helicopter, and you start changing over. So if a UFO was to fly overhead, more than likely, our brains will, it's a condition, our brains will actually trigger it to turn it into some other shape.
Into a plane or something. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? But it is true, do you know? Remember, we all have different realities. And it's quite possible that the aliens are actually living on this planet in a different reality to ours. Who knows? They go up in the sky in their spaceships, and because it vibrates at such a speed, which makes it look like it's disappeared. Do you know? Because it's quite common. You know, you put a cane in the ground and you spin it that fast, it goes and it goes that fast, it actually disappears. You look and you can't see it, and it's all to do with vibration. 100%. So do you know? You really don't know.
I would say a lot of the heads of state, or certainly the advisors in the background of the governments, would have alien connections.
100%.
And you're looking, I would actually even go as far as to say I would actually be putting them also into clergy and things like that. Places of power, I would say that if you go through the background of it, that there would be connections to the alien race who would want to keep it sort of suppressed, you know. And you have to face facts here. If you turned on the television now, we don't watch television, say the internet, and you happen to hear that aliens have landed, there would be complete and utter madness in the streets. People would be going ballistic, people would be panicking, you know. And that's one of the other reasons why I don't believe that the governments are going to share the information just yet. The information is filtering out, a lot of it's information, disinformation, but the fact of the matter is it's not ready for people to really get the full facts, because if the full facts come out and what reality is, there's going to be a lot of angry people, but you're also going to have a lot of people who won't be fighting their wars and getting into violence. They'll actually be looking on life completely different. And I would say, tell you that keep an open mind and do your own research, but keep watching the skies, and then you never know who's walking by you in the street anyway.
You don't. It's a fascinating subject, and we could go on and on about this, about UFOs and aliens, but we'll keep that for another time again, because we could waffle on. This video would go on for hours, because it's just an amazing thing that we love, don't we? Power realities, everything. But hey, we'll do that again.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I say tell you that we'll put up a couple of wee links down below. You have a wee look at it and see what you think. But just thanks very much for all your lovely comments and your subscriptions. Guys, all you here for the first time, you're very welcome on this journey. And please follow us on Facebook and Twitter. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe for weekly updates here on YouTube. But listen, we really appreciate it, guys, and keep looking at the skies, guys.
You never know what you might see.
You never know.
And if you've had any experiences yourself at all, please leave your comments down below, because I'd love to hear it all, would you?
Or send us a private message.
If you don't want everyone to know yet.
If you don't want everybody to know. And we'll read your names out.
We'll read your names out in the next video. No, we won't do that. We won't do that, really, honestly.
Well, not. Guys,
but we'd love to hear.
See you later. As soon as this video tape stops, no man then does every single video. What you're going to get here.
The reptilian race.
Guys, listen. Catch us later, and thanks for watching. See you
later.
later.
Loads of love and happiness. Bye.
Nano.
Nano.